Okay, so we all know Rougned Odor, right? He's the player who punched Jose Bautista in the face. It was a pretty big deal at the time. That was back in 2016. Today, Odor is playing for the Yankees, and Bautista was recently playing for the Dominican national team. It's even crazier when you look at the ages of these two guys. Bautista is 40 years old, and Odor is only 27. It seems like Odor has been in the league for a long time. Well, that's because he has. 2021 is Odor's 8th season in the league. Apart from a couple of average seasons, Odor has been a mediocre player throughout his career. However, one particular season, the 2017 season, is on a whole nother level. Today, I'm going to tell you why Rougned Odor's 2017 season was one of the weirdest and most unique seasons in MLB history. So, how did Odor end up where he did in 2017? Well, it all starts with his rookie season in 2014. Odor made his big league debut on May 8th, 2014. At this point, Odor was the most hyped up prospect in the Rangers organization. In fact, a reporter for the Dallas Morning News referred to Odor as a prodigy when reporting Odor's inclusion on the 2014 spring training roster. Keep in mind, Odor was only 20 years old at the time. Was Odor deserving of such a nickname? Well, at the very least, Odor was considered a top 60 prospect. He projected to be an above average hitter with the tools to handle shortstop, but he was better suited for second base. So how did he perform in his rookie season? Well, not every young rookie is Soto, Tatis, or Acuna. Odor was okay, but his strikeout problems were very apparent just by looking at his on-base percentage. With Odor being given the starting second base spot ahead of the 2015 season, this should be a golden opportunity for Odor. Well, he struggled heavily in the beginning of the season, so much so that he was demoted to AAA on May 11th. But he was able to rebound and surpass his performance from his rookie season. Heading into his third season at age 22, the opportunity for a breakout season was in the cards. Well, apart from the aforementioned fight with Bautista, Odor's 2016 season was more of the same, but he was actually able to play a near full season. This resulted in 33 home runs and a near 800 OPS. Those are some impressive numbers for a 23-year-old middle infielder. Although, it's important to note that there were clear plate discipline and defensive issues, in which the latter resulted in the Blue Jays knocking out the Rangers in the 2016 ALDS, which I'm sure is the universe correcting itself after the brawl earlier in the season. Regardless, Odor was considered by the Rangers as a key piece for the future, as rumors circulated that Odor was untouchable during the Chris Sale sweepstakes in the 2016 offseason. As a result, Odor was awarded an extension worth $49 million just prior to the start of the 2017 season. The Rangers were so enamored with Odor that he received 2 horses as part of the contract. I'm not kidding. So with Odor now locked with the Rangers for the long term, what was in store for the 24-year-old? Well, let's just say that he made history. Odor started the season just how you'd expect, with 2 home runs in his first 2 at-bats. Wait, what? Well, Odor basically fooled the Rangers by hitting these 2 home runs in the opening game. Well, kinda. You see, Odor hit plenty of home runs in 2017, 30 of them to be exact. So what was the problem? Well, let's go month by month. He began April with 2 home runs. By mid-April, Odor was barely hitting above 200. By the end of April, he was hitting below the Mendoza line, as well as having an OPS just over 600. And May 2nd would be the low point of the season, as his average and OPS fell to a season low. It's technically correct to say that everything would go up from here, but realistically, not by much. The first and second half stats show worse performances in the second half of the season, which can be attributed to Odor's abysmal away stats. Interestingly, if we look at the monthly stats, Odor was great in July, by far his best month of 2017. Unfortunately, August and September would be his worst months of the year. All of these monthly stats equal a season stat line that looks like this. One of the most glaring aspects of this stat line is that Odor played every single game, one of only 5 players to do so in 2017. Hosmer and Votto were both all-stars, while Escobar and Galvis were both reliable defensive shortstops. The most comparable player to Odor was Escobar. If we look at only their OPS plus numbers, you'd think that they had similar seasons, but you then realize that Escobar hit 6 home runs while Odor hit 30 home runs. And if we bring the scope back to all of MLB history, of all players who hit at least 20 home runs in a season and possessed an OPS plus of less than 100, Odor had the worst OPS plus of all 269 individual seasons found. In fact, Odor is the only player to hit at least 30 home runs in a season and have an OPS plus of less than 70. The next player to hit at least 30 home runs had an OPS plus of 79. Who was that player? Rougned Odor, 2 seasons later. By the way, if you're more of a fan of WRC plus, I got you. What was Odor's WRC plus in 2017? 56. And out of the 37 players who hit 30 plus home runs in 2017, only 3 players had a WRC plus of under 100. Odor, Scott Schebler, and Adam Duvall. What this tells me is that Odor turned into a 3 true outcome kind of player, meaning he was someone who strikes out a lot, walks a lot, and hits home runs. Someone like Joey Gallo. But there was one problem. Odor hit plenty of home runs and struck out a lot, but he didn't walk very often. In fact, his walk rate was the 11th worst among all qualified players. Apart from the abysmal on-base percentage, which was the worst in the league, Odor's slugging percentage was also a huge sign of his struggles. He didn't hit very many extra base hits apart from the home runs. Out of all the 30-plus home run hitters, Odor tied with 2 others for the 5th least amount of doubles. And just for fun, let's check the OPS plus and WRC plus numbers of all of these players. Yeah, I think you understand by now how much of an anomaly this season was. And if I didn't make myself clear, out of every player in history who has had a season with at least 600 plate appearances, Odor's 2017 on-base percentage is the 5th worst of all time. So how did Odor follow up this season? Well, he continued with a more respectable season in 2018, but it's just been downhill from there. He continued to be an everyday player, but he was just not able to turn it around. He was traded by the Rangers to the Yankees at the start of the 2021 season, but he hasn't produced much with his new team. Like I said earlier, it's crazy to think that Odor is only 27 years old. His contract ends after the 2022 season with a team option for the 2023 season, which certainly won't be picked up. I hope Odor is able to turn it around and become a new player as he heads into his 30s after his contract. For now, it's fair to say that Rougned Odor's 2017 season was not only one of the worst of all time, it's also oddly beautiful because of how unique it was. To me, it's a warning of what could happen in 3 true outcome baseball if pitchers are able to dominate hitters, which is more or less what we're seeing in 2021, but hopefully that changes in the near future. As for Odor, good luck. I hope you're able to turn it around. And before I end the video, shout out to fellow baseball YouTuber No More Fielders, who recently made a video on Chris Carter's 2016 season, a season that's kinda similar to Odor's 2017 season, but in different ways. So go check it out if that interests you. Link will be in the description. And finally, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for watching.